Hey, Adam, what are some of the things you think that has made the Oriole bullpen good this year, and what's it been like for you to be a part of it?
I think one of the things that makes any bullpen work well is the accountability on the next guy up, and I've felt that from top to bottom. You're not ever in a situation where you don't trust the guy coming in behind you, and me specifically, even in Texas, I can remember I pitched exactly 3 batters because there's a lefty hitter on the 4th batter, and I saw Paul was up, so I knew treating the 3rd batter carefully was a smart thing to do because I trusted Paul behind me. If I didn't get it done, he was going to get it done, and you see that even into last night's game when Valdez came in the game and picked up Tanner Scott. So every good bullpen I've ever been a part of, that's definitely the case.
Next question is from Rich Dubroff.
Hey, Adam, when you came to the Orioles, did you have any did you have any preconceptions of the guys here and of the bullpen as a whole? And if so, has that changed?
To be honest, no, not a whole lot. I came up with Sean Armstrong, Cole Sulcer in the Indian system. Position player wise, Anthony Santander was an Indian as well, and Rio Ruiz and Dylan Tater from my area. Pat Blake and I were roommates in college, so I had a good idea of a lot of guys on the team. But as far as personalities, how things worked, and specifically to answer your question about the bullpen, no, we didn't play the Orioles in 2020, and to be honest, they weren't a focus of mine at all because we didn't have to play them. So I had no idea who anybody was really in the bullpen, in all honesty. And now I'm excited to be here, and it's been a great transition for me. And I'm just happy that I could fit in with all these guys that have been doing a heck of a job for a really long time.
Joe Trezza, go ahead.
Hey, Adam, what are your first impressions of Cesar Valdez?
He's awesome, man. He's a lot of fun to be around. A great guy to hang out with every single day down in the bullpen. Doesn't take anything too seriously. He's in the most intense, packed situations that you can imagine, and he just gets up and does his thing, and he's not afraid to do it. So I love having him around. It's been a lot of fun to get to know him. Sneaky, really good English, in case any of you guys didn't know that about him. He speaks really English really well, and so we've had a lot of good conversations in the past couple of days.
How difficult is what he does, manipulating the baseball the way he does?
Incredibly hard, and it's incredibly hard. You look at the only other guy I've seen close with the changeup is Devin Williams with the Brewers, and how he kind of turns it over and creates a curveball-like effect to it. I don't know how it plays as far as movement, differential, all that kind of stuff. But he, his changeup, the closest thing I've seen to it is Devin Williams.
Nathan Ruiz, go ahead.
Adam, when you joined the organization, was there anything that Chris Holt and Darren Holmes brought to you is like, hey, we think this could make you better? Or are they just letting you be yourself? Just what has your integration in the organization been like in that way?
Yeah, I think they didn't want to change a whole lot in a good way, in the sense that I'd been successful before in the big leagues. It's not like we needed to overhaul things. It was more just slight tweaks and mixing in things a little bit differently, and hearing it in a different voice maybe. And familiarity breeds contempt, right? So in some ways, I feel like Cleveland and I had known each other for so long that it wasn't contentious. That's not what I'm saying, but it was almost just like, well, he's this. And then I got here, and it's like, hey, we think you can really be that over there. And I'm like, wow, that's a breath of fresh air. I've been told I'm over here, and now you guys think I can be over there. And so that's definitely a breath of fresh air as soon as I came over.
If you can share, what were some of those tweaks that they had you make?
Nothing super specific at all, to be honest with you. Holty really liked my curveball and encouraged me to just throw it with my best fastball delivery and change the mindset of not worrying so much if it has enough break to it, if it has this or that to it, but bringing it back to throwing a more similar fastball. You know, I could always spin the ball. That's definitely the thing that is a strength of mine. So I think it's more just changing the mindset where maybe in Cleveland I was focused on getting, you know, 15 inches of depth and 15 inches of cut, meaning like the ball moves this way and this way a certain, you know, feet, inches, whatever you want to call it. It had to move this way versus here. It's like, hey, if it doesn't move that way, that's okay. We're just looking for your best fastball delivery.
Just one more quick thing, kind of just following up on that. How does analytically, obviously Cleveland has quite the reputation on the pitching side. How do the two organizations compare?
They're comparable for sure. I think there's where it is just a part of the fabric in Cleveland. I think it's becoming a part of the fabric here, and it's exciting to take that ride again, to take that journey in Cleveland. That was kind of in 2015. We were slow playing a lot of this kind of stuff and really wanted to dive in deeper. And I'm not saying it's you know, Baltimore's 2015 Cleveland by any means. Well more along than that. But now you're starting to see, I think, more and more of the players here start to understand some of the analytics and things like that. And that's how it was in Cleveland, where the players understood their numbers and their analytics. And you know, definitely here, the people are starting to get a better idea of who they are and what defines them as a pitcher.
Appreciate it.
Melanie Newman, go ahead.
Hey, Adam, since you joined the team so late, has it gotten any easier now that your family is settled? And since the Vallecas were kind of trying to strong arm you guys to live near them, do you have any emotion now that Pat's getting recalled and you get to be near your buddy again?
Yeah, it's always great to play with Pat. He and I have known each other. I think I first met him, I was probably about 16 or 17 years old. And I think it was pretty much on day one, I asked him to be my roommate at UCLA because Christian Yelich had recently decommitted and decided to go to Miami. So as a joke, I kind of, you know, stoked the fire with Pat and said, hey, I'm losing a roommate in him. Do you want to be my roommate? And he's just like, sure. And so, yeah, that's kind of how our relationship started. And, you know, he was my best man at my wedding. And to see his two little girls play with my son, you know, it's just one of those really cool small moment things that work out sometimes in baseball, and it's really fun to be a part of.
Steve Molesky, go ahead.
Adam, how big has the cutter been for you, and why do you think it's become so big in the sport in recent years?
Yeah, it's continued to be a weapon for me. In 2019, it got tagged as a slider and continued to get tagged as a slider, even though I had decided to make a firm switch to throwing a cutter. And that's just something that the system does on its own. So when I added back in the slider late in 2020, all of a sudden it defined the cutter and defined the slider. So really, if you look at from 2018 and before that to 2019 and after that, my career and my success in the major leagues has been a lot more consistent, and I think the cutter is a huge part of that. And the ability to treat it as a second fastball for me is it just gives me a ton of confidence to throw it wherever I want to. If I need to throw it to a right-hander down and away, I can do it. If I need to throw it to a left-hander down and away, which is a lot more tough to locate because you have to plan the break into open space, basically, I still feel confident in doing that. And so, you know, you look across the way and who we're playing tonight, Mariano Rivera literally made the pitch famous because it's all he threw, and as effective as it was, and everybody knew it was coming. So it's one of those things that if you get it right, and if you can make it look like a fastball for as long as possible, you see Lakins, you see Armstrong all throw cutters, and it can be wildly successful if it keeps that fastball look to it.